Hello, my dear friends. Namaste, good morning, and good evening, and a warm welcome to one and all of you. And I want to thank you again for taking this time and staying in touch with us. And thank you for watching all the videos. I hope and I trust that it benefits you. By all means, if you have any feedback, if you have any comments, please leave in the comment section. We will try to work on those feedback. We will try to bring some corrections in whatever aspect you are wanting us to bring those corrections. All right. Once again, a warm welcome, and I'm very, very deeply honored. Once a person walked to me and asked, why is my life so difficult and challenging? I said, because you have not turned around and looked at other people's life. Because this gentleman is assuming he alone goes through challenges, he alone thinks that his life is so very difficult and all that, and every one of us will go through challenges, just that the degree of challenge is different. I mean, the variation of challenges are going to be a little different, the degree is going to be a little different up and down, but all of us go through challenges, all of us go through difficulties. Who's saying, is there any human being that can say the richest person on earth, the poorest person on earth? You go and talk to both these guys, they will have their own challenges and difficulties. Every human being will go through it. Was my answer to the gentleman. He happened to be a very good friend of mine. So I give the same answer to one and all of you. Today, if you're thinking that you're the only one that is going through a challenge or a difficulty, that's not the truth. Trust me, right? You don't have to trust me. You walk up to any elder in your own family, you walk up to one of your closest friend and ask and all that. That's why socializing with people is very, very important. People really, who love that loud loneliness, we are living a very mechanical life. I completely understand. All of us are busy. There is no time for one another and all that. Take some time off, build that fellowship, socialize with people, whomever you know. Not saying you should socialize with everyone and all that. Sometimes that alone can be a trouble in your life, but have that kind of interaction that will really make you very, I mean, bring a lot of transparency what others go through. So you will really be shocked. What I go through is definitely not a challenge, it's definitely not a difficulty when I compare to other people, right? Okay, let's get into the topic. Yet another beautiful day, yet another wonderful time, an opportunity, a golden opportunity to discuss on certain aspects of life, parameters of life. We are talking here about life. That's why I'm very excited and thrilled and happy. You can see it on my face. Correct? Okay. Now, what are we doing here? This is part 3. I hope I will be able to close it today. This is what I told in part 1. I couldn't. Part 2, I couldn't. And part 3, I hope I close it. Alright. We are talking through a very, very important title, leadership excellence. Alright. Or leadership intelligence, or leadership quality, or leadership character, leadership attribute. Who is supposed to be called a leader and all that. All of us should have that feeling. The basic definition, all of us are born leaders. Nobody is supposed to look at some person, oh, he is a leader. That person has become a great leader because he always felt it that he is a born leader. You and I are born leaders. He has the same brains as you and me, just that he or she, right? There are wonderful, feminine leaders too, whom I admire, right? Whom you may admire. And how these people are able to become a leader and not we is not because they are chosen leaders, they are being earmarked and all that. Nothing like that. They have really understood their role, and they have really believed that they are born leaders, and therefore they became good leaders. That's all. You and I also can become good leaders, and we are already good leaders, right? That's what we are trying to bring it as an exposition, through review, through careful review and analysis of the real who you are. It's like a introspection call. It's an introspective discussion. That's why it's taking a long time, lot of time I'm spending to bring that in you, build that character in you. Okay, are you ready? So we are reviewing that. We handpicked 20 attributes. I did little research, I'll be very honest. Yes, I did googling, right? Because I cannot manufacture all this. What I think may not be right, therefore I need to check, right? I checked and I have brought this kind of study. We reviewed almost like 13 to 14 attributes. 20 attributes we handpicked. Now I've finished 13 attributes. I think we will continue. The last time we discussed, we ended with transparency. I strongly encourage, please listen to part 1, part 2, and then come here. Otherwise you will lose the continuity. Very important. Continuity is very important. So you need to connect the dots clearly. Go back and I will wait here. This is a recorded session. I will be here. Don't worry. I won't go anywhere. What is the rush? Why are you rushing into part 3? Listen to part 1, part 2 and then come to part 3. It's all in the playlist. Go to my channel. You will see in the playlist already there. If you have a difficulty, just comment. I will pass the link also. Okay. Now we discussed about transparency. Transparency is very important. Why it is important? If you are a very transparent person, then only you can be a honest person. Not necessarily always you got to be transparent. You really need to make a judgmental call where you need to be transparent, where you need not be transparent. It doesn't mean you're hiding back, but then you need not be transparent everywhere. There are certain information where you really need to hold back because it's confidential. It can't be shared with everyone. Okay, very good. I think you understood now. Collaboration is the next attribute, so we'll continue from there. I have, oh my god, there are so many things to cover, huh? I hope part 3 will be the last part. I beg God, I pray God. Okay, you also pray. Collaboration. What is collaboration? Collaboration means you really need to have an attitude to join hands with others. Simple. No, 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 this is my hand, it belongs to me, therefore I will keep it to me. My knowledge which I built, you know how hard I worked to build this knowledge and skill set, and all this, and you should see the body language of certain people and all that. Hey, sharing is nothing but the, how what is the right way to express? The more you share, the more you are helping growth, growth of your country, prosperity of your country, growth of your family, own family members. You don't share that knowledge, right? Your cooking skills, you don't teach your husband. When you're ill, when you're sick, who's going to cook for you? You can't buy outside food because he is already sick. Outside food is always vulnerable. Please don't. Probably you have a illness in your stomach, some gastric problem. Let's take a typical example, then only you'll understand collaboration, huh? And you have never allowed your husband, or you have never made efforts to teach your husband, assuming your husband is a person who has willingness and interest to learn and help you. No, no, this is my area, I build the skill, I won't share it with you. The wife says like this, and the same wife end up in a food poisoning, and then now she needs home food, homemade food. Now what will she do? And you both are living in abroad, no mama papa, no brother sister, nothing, right? And you are living in a kind of a some island. And you have no one to help. Your husband has to, he is well and healthy, no problem, he can help you. But then the guy, poor fellow, doesn't even know you are struggling in pain, that you can't even share your knowledge at that point of time. When all is well in your life, you should share knowledge. That's why we keep telling you. When all is well, when situation is green, please go and share that knowledge. Right now what will you do? That's a struggle for him to watch you struggling in pain. He's unable to help, he's handicapped. Now we understood collaboration is very, very important. The success of a company lies in the hands of a employee who is having this attitude to collaborate. Collaborate is also about sharing knowledge and taking that knowledge, receiving knowledge. It's give and take. That means what? Each one will have to share. Do your part to share the knowledge, build one another, help one another, support one another, build backups for your roles. There are certain people who will never share knowledge. I'm also in corporate, right? And when these people go on vacation, my goodness, it will be a roller coaster ride. We won't be able to handle escalations, and I don't know, maybe my fate or whatever. When these people go on, until they are there, no escalation will come, nothing will go wrong. It's not because they keep it that way. It's all about luck, right? All of a sudden something goes wrong in your data center, something, and these guys have the knowledge. They have not shared it with others. They have never collaborated. Sharing knowledge is nothing but collaboration. That's it, simple definition. Then what happens? Escalation and all that. This guy is not there, not reachable. He's gone somewhere. His cell phone is not working. This and that. Oh my goodness! I've gone through a roller coaster ride. It really put me to a terrible state, shameful situation. So please collaborate, share knowledge, join hands with others, support one another, help one another. Only then you grow as a person, others also grow, and your company also grows. Enough. Resilience. Resilience. One must understand their self before taking responsibility for others. Resilient leaders are perceptive and also know how to handle themselves and others. I'm reading the definition because this resilience took some time. Resilience simply means that you do lot of homework, do lot of ground level work, before you step into some responsibility. Now I'm 25 years experience, I'm 30 years experience, everything I know, you have not worked on, for example, big data. You're a great person in different domains, for example, sales domain, e-commerce domain, mobility, and whatever technology, but you don't know anything about big data. I've handled so many domains. Big data, let's go and see how big the data is. That's all about big data. No, please, people will laugh at you. Resilience is an important character, that you do enough groundwork, you understand, you assess your confidence. Some people, you may not be strong at big data. I have admitted many times, that's not my strength. Sorry, I'm not able to handle it. When they offered certain roles, that's not my skill, that's not my strength. Sometimes that's not my interest. My interest, long ago I have quit that interest in sitting and coding. Once upon a time that was my only interest. Then something else became my interest, architectural skills. Then sometimes my interest was in testing area. Then sometimes in project management, sometimes in program management. I keep switching hats. I like that. I like playing different roles. That's when you can learn many things. But there are certain areas where I have never pushed myself, where I didn't have any interest. Why I didn't have interest? Because it's not my strength, man. I'm not strong in all areas. I'm strong in certain areas, I'm weak in certain areas. And that's all about me. Why can't you be very honest enough to tell them? Why? Because you have not done the groundwork, you have not done the assessment. Self assessment is very, very important. Be resilient, and that's how you can become a good leader, because you will be such a nuisance. You go and sign up for something where you have no interest, where you have no expertise, where you have no capability, where you have no power to influence this and that. People will struggle, man. 6 months of time you will waste to prove to the outside world that you are incapable in handling this area. That will become a black dot in your shirt, black dot in your career. You really want to get into that? Why can't you do that assessment? Ask many questions, as many as questions possible. Anything and everything people offer, don't grab it. I need a job, and all that. Please, you're devaluing the company's growth, and you are such a hurdle. You are such a puzzle to solve. Don't create puzzles for company's growth, please. Because company has other problems to resolve. Same thing in the family, right? Don't go and overcome it and all that. See, as parents, as father, mothers, you and I are not experienced in all areas. Sometimes you will have to look at experts. you know when you are sick, always you run to medical doctors. Why? I'm not a doctor, therefore I go to a doctor. Likewise, other areas, you really need to know, I'm not great in this area, so let me find help for my child, because your child is struggling, your wife is struggling. Okay, let's move on. Next one, strategy. Strategy is a very, very important quality. It's a mouth watering topic for me. Strategy is what? It's all about planning, nothing else. Do you know what you're going to do tomorrow? Do you know what you're going to do next week? Do you know what you're going to do next month? Do you know what you're going to do next year? Do you know what you're going to do next decade? Well, I don't even know what I'm going to do tomorrow. You're asking me a question, what am I going to do for a decade from now, or from a decade from now? Now, people, I've heard many people laughing aloud. Herald, people call me my name, by my first name. I don't even know how I'm going to survive today. You're asking me what I'm going to do a year from now. Forget it, man. Whatever it comes on my way, I have the habit to grab it and take it and all that. That's why you're struggling in your life. I'm not saying, and I'm not mocking at anyone, but I'm telling you, I've literally seen people struggling in their lives because they don't have a vision. Every strategist is a good planner, is also a good visionary. Strategist will be a planner, will be a visionary. He will plan very well, he will execute it in such a way that his vision is fulfilled. That's the definition of being a strategist, and for which you need to have a strategy. In business world, right, in marketing world and all that, the strategies are really, really fake, and they make a lot of foul game. They fool one another. They what to say, they have dirty talks, and they garbage one another and all that. Please don't get into all that. We are not talking about politics here. We are not talking about competition is good, but then mixing it with political skills is all about creating that, being a bad competitor. I'm not getting into that, but then be a strategist for yourself, right? You will not garbage against yourself. Then you will start doing the right things in your life. You'll be very good at planning, you'll be very good at execution, and therefore you'll be a very good visionary. You'll be a very good strategist. Yeah, you will be you will be a strategist for your family, you will be a strategist for your personal life, your health, right? A lot of people end up in a lot of unhealthy habits because they are really not strategists. They have not taken good care of their life because they have not taken into account their age. You know, your body parts are aging, huh? Accordingly you need to change your lifestyle, your habits, and this and that. Now that is also strategy, you see. what am I how am I going to change my lifestyle at the age of 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55? Gives you a long life. Everyone will have to pass away. When your time comes, you have to leave the world. That's different. But as long as you're living, when you live your life as a strategist, you will see the benefits. You will definitely enjoy the benefits. uh, that's also part of a leadership quality. Then only you're supposed to be called as a good leader, a good husband, a good father, a good mother, a good wife, a good brother, a good sister, a good friend, a good citizen of your own country. You got to be a strategist. How can you help your nation to prosper? You may be a good environmentalist. Take care of your environment, bring some social awareness. What we are doing here, I told you many times, I'm not getting paid. I may be a YouTuber, but I'm not getting a single penny. But why I do this? Because I have that responsibility. God gave me the skill, and I want to use that skill to bless others, to help others. How is that? You have so many skills, right? Good at music and all that. Have you really given a free class or a free session and stuff like that? Right? Or at least a good entertainer. I've known a person who is a very good flutist, worked in my team. But have you been a good entertainer? At least you can entertain people. They can get some minds with the flute is a very good thing, He's a good flutist. I can't play flute, even in my lifetime, even if I had to be trained. That's a God given skill, right? So many things I can keep talking, but then I think that's okay. Empowerment. Empowerment is the next important quality. Two, three qualities. Today I'm going to close, even if it takes 2 minutes extra. Empowerment is mix of three four attributes: delegation, creativity, and empowerment. All three comes together. Empowerment by definition is nothing but it leads to a strong working culture, and be makes you a good strategist, makes you a very good person, build in filled in patience, and it makes you a good listener, right? Empowerment attitude is nothing but you always have an attitude to build others. A good leader, I have told this many times in this, in part 1, part 2 also. A good leader will always have an attitude to build his team, build his people, next gen. He will always focus on next gen, and he will be not even thinking twice to allowing people to replace his role, and he will pick a different role. Only then a company will grow. I've seen certain leaders sticking to the same role for more than 2 decades, 20 years. And I really pity them. I really pity their team. Why? Because they have not grown. Yeah, 2 to 3 years is a good ask for any leader. You need to stick to a 5 years is also okay, but more than 5 years, I think you really need to check on yourself. Which means what? You're creating dependence on you. You're having that insecurity feeling. What else could be the reason? Don't ever fool people saying I'm so passionate to do the same job and all. Not about you're passionate, right? You will definitely not stick to a job more than 3 to 4 years. You will change hats. I've worked with good leaders and bad leaders. Sorry to say this, sir. That's one of the important checklist, important check in your checklist. You're stuck to a job for more than 4 5 years. Something is wrong. Please check on that. Why? Because that's tightly coupled with empowerment. You're not empowering people. You're not empowering yourself. You're not engaging yourself to do new things, and it's a loss to the company has invested for you to get that benefit. To be a benefit to the company, value add to the company, and you got to build a leader who could replace, and then you got to take another role, and you need to do the same job there, build leaders, and then come go to a different job, something like that within the same. I'm not saying you should quit your company. You can be in the same company, right? Any company provides you many roles. If your company is not providing you multiple roles for growth, then quit. You need to find a different company. Otherwise you're not growing in your career, man. You're really wasting your time. Imagine the company goes through a financial crisis and they go on and lay off and all that. You lose your job. You stand in the middle of the street and scratching your head, what do I do next? And I have not learned anything else and all that. Please. Empathy. Three more characters, 3 more attributes we review and we close up. Please have patience. Empathy. Empathizing and sympathizing. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear something like this happened, and say that, and then please pull up something and give it to them. I empathize. I not only sympathize but I empathize. This is in a general social tense. But at workplace, in the families, between husband and wife, help your wife. You know that she is weak in certain areas. Help your husband. He is weak in certain areas, and you are strong. You are able to empathize, right? That you will do. But you are not able to empathize your neighbor. Huh? Why? I know. I really want this guy to go through. Let God has taught him a lesson. They bring God into such situations. You know, God is really merciful. God is the great example for empathizer. If you're a spiritual person, God is a great empathizer. You need to learn that skill of empathy from God. Being a believer in God, how can you only sympathize and not empathize? I'm asking a very whichever religion you belong, right? I've seen many atheists who don't believe in God being great empathizers. Trust me, right? I've gone to few places in Europe and I've worked with them and all that. They admit they're the atheists. They don't believe in God. I come and all that. Don't talk about Bible and all that, please. I have seen them having great quality to empathize. Wow, how they help people, I have really admired. So, what is the point in sympathizing and all that? You're wasting your time and other person's time. Straight away, get into empathizing. You know a co-worker who's really struggling. The guy is new to his job, right? And the person has really joined newly. Why can't you help him? Help him, right? Therefore, he's a good backup. Just now I told you, right? Empowerment is tightly coupled to empathy. You cannot say I'm a great empathizer but I don't believe in empowerment. Something is wrong in your head. You go and get checked with the doctor. That's all I can say. Okay. Very quickly I have to finish three things. Passion. I covered this already, right? You are good at empowerment and empathizing and all that. You are good at passion. You're a very passionate person for your job, and every passionate person will never be stuck to a static job. He or she will look for opportunities for growth, and that's very very important, right? And do your job with lot of passion. Passion means what? Make it your own problem, as if it's your own company, as if it's your own investment, right? You run your own company. How passionate you are. Why? Because I have taken a lot of loans, man. I need to repay. I need to work hard. Likewise, every person who's working with a lot of passion, that company will never go for a bankruptcy. Every family, every husband and wife with that passion, they love their family and all that, they will not have any problems. They may have difference in opinions, but they will sit down and resolve. Before the sun goes down, they will resolve. They will not have egos. They will have such a support to one another. I don't think I need to spend a lot of time in passion. Last two things, decisiveness. I already spoke about that. Decision making skills. It's tightly coupled with decisiveness. I will skip that because it's already covered. Lastly, positivity. Please positivity is not about overconfidence. Positivity is all about when you have done your homework, when you have done your exercises, and convincingly you know that you have the skill set, and still you are biting your nails. How am I going to do this and all that? That is what you should avoid. You can do it. Get into that. Accept that new role. Accept the new offer. Accept that new position. Why are you scared? Please go and be positive. That's what I think we did the another session. Positivity, very important character. And people will instigate a lot of fear in your mind, and a lot of people are really skilled in that. They have done PhDs to instigate fear, instigate negativity. 8 out of 10 people are really skilled, born skill. Ignore such people. Erase those thoughts. Don't talk to too many people. When you have done your exercise, when you are confident, you please jump into the role, jump into that position, accept it with a lot of positivity. Yeah, I think we have done part 3 and we have completed in style. I am sorry I took a lot of time. Don't miss a single minute, because this is all about building you as a good leader, as a good human being. Not only about leadership excellence. You want to be a good human being, a good leader, you please listen to all the 3 parts. Share it with as many as people possible, please. All these attributes are attributes of life. We spoke about life. All right, we consider all these parameters. You will really excel in your life. You'll also be a great leader. Thank you very much. Take care. God bless you. Stay tuned. I will meet you in another session. Namaste.